What's up, Airsofters and YouTubers out there? I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of Behind the BB, and you're about to watch the second one. But before we get to that episode, I would like to talk to you guys about some upcoming events we are for sure going to, and we hope to see you there. The first two is from Into Bravo, the company in Buchanan that we told you about in the first pilot episode of Behind the BB. They're having an open play July 7th, $10. The reason why we are strongly urging you guys to go to this one is because the operator who actually owns the acreage of field the field that they play on is actually having some medical issues, and any money that they get through this event that they're going to be hosting is going to go directly to either the hospital bill or to the family. They're going to raffle off a J&G gun, or a G&G gun, my bad, not J&G, the newer version, the G&G gun raffle. Will be there, and I can't wait for it. I hope I win something. We had a buddy in our force, he won a Vector from M2 Bravo at Operation Cold War. Diamonds de Leon is also sponsored by M2 Bravo. It'll be as well, and same location as Cold War if you guys watched us during that event. We also, the event itself will be July 21st, $10 as well. Pretty good event, pretty awesome field. I think it's 8 whole acres to play on. And then the last event that I have right now is Theta Events is hosting Appalachian Assault. It's in Johnson City. It's in the Lakeview area of Johnson City. Tickets are $100, and it is from July 13th to July 15th. We strongly recommend any YouTubers, Airsofters to go to these events and meet new people. So without further ado, episode 2.
Hello everybody, this is episode 2 of Behind the BB with Tex
and Bear,
and today we're going over just desired gear. We spent a whole entire episode just discussing milsims and how awesome they are and the difference between milsim and backyard. We decided we wanted to break down your gear a little more, because when you really run into airsoft in general, there's always a gear question. You know, what should I bring? How much of it should I bring? And we just really want to...
what should I get?
Exactly. We just want to crack it down a little more so you don't have to open your wallet more than you have to. So first off, you're going to want to get your desired look down.
You won't want to, like, some people do impression kits. So, say you want to look like a Marine, a modern-day Marine, that's an impression. Or you can just go with your own design, which is kind of what we did. Well, kind of morphed into that. I started with an impression of a Marine with Marpat, with the M88 helmet, stuff like that. And it turned into my own thing after a while, because it really wasn't my forte at that point.
And growing up in the airsoft world, what I hit the most was ACUs. Which really wasn't, that helpful at all as far as camouflage, but it was the closest to cheap camo I could get at the time. I didn't really have a job at the moment, but I made it work for the longest time. We finally both decided as a team we were going to hit up Woodland.
Yeah, we live in West Virginia, which is, if you don't live in West Virginia, never been here, it is completely green. There is no sand. Well, maybe near a lake, but we live nowhere near a lake. When we were playing, it was in the middle of the woods, and him having ACU was kind of funny, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly. When you go for gear desired, you just need to look at what's around you and what you're generally going to be playing in. For night warfare, I would go with the black ATACs.
Yeah, and another thing whenever you're looking at gear, not gear, but camo, is what are you going to be doing? So if you're going to be doing backyard stuff, then camo is up to you. But if you're going to go toward milsim and more operations, more organized stuff like that, then you really got to look at what they want you to have, because it's very, I wouldn't say very strict.
Well, Milsim West is.
Milsim West is very, very strict.
But most of the more casual milsim you'll see, like our guys and buddies at Theta Events and Black Aces and M2 Bravo, they're kind of laid back when it comes to the uniform code. I know for one event we went to in West Virginia, which was, I'm forgetting the name of it, the M2 Bravo Cold War. We were required to wear green camouflage, and that's what it said. It said green camouflage, which was anything really? What would you say? Woodland?
Anything woodland, marpat, anything green, and usually when you have the more casual operations like that, they literally just specify green, tan, and you can most of the time they'll list the actual names of the camo so you can tell if you actually have the right one or not. But generally, as long as you have green, you're good.
Now, if you're aiming or geared really more towards Milsim West, you're going to be looking at wearing nothing but multicam or desert tan.
That's really become popular here recently because the military is now starting to switch over from the MARPAT and the digital and stuff like that over to multicam.
And going in to another topic, looks versus function. I'm sure we both agree that sometimes the coolest thing isn't really the best thing per person to wear.
I mean, a ghillie suit's awesome, but whenever you run an M4, it's just not practical.
Or whenever you're in a hot desert setting and the sun's beating down on you and you look like a bush just walking around.
Big old bush.
Probably not gonna be that helpful. Another thing that you really got to look at is, what kind of functionality are you aiming towards? I mean, I know for a fact if you're trying to be a sniper, you're going to want to get out of places quickly. You're not going to be wanting to wear
You don't want to be weighed down.
Exactly. You don't want to actually wear the bulletproof plates. That's not a good idea.
I know exactly why you said that.
It's not a good idea. The last thing you want to do is be a sniper going through or really hiking up a mountainside or something like that with your gun, and then you take one slip and the weight just pulls you down. That's not something you want to aim towards.
Whenever I first, another thing too, don't just buy a random, whenever you actually go looking for gear, try to stay away from camo gear unless it's you are just going to run multicam forever and ever and ever, and you never want to buy another piece of gear. If you switch camo, you're going to have to switch plate carriers. So I run a Coyote Brown.
I run a black.
Yeah, those two colors it's just general. It kind of goes with everything, kind of deal. Not too specific.
But here's something I want to let our Airsoft viewers know about the black plate carriers. For regular casual milsims, it's okay to have a black plate carrier, but if you're going to do milsim west or something more strict, I don't know what other type of strict milsims there are in the United States other than milsim west, but for them you cannot have a black plate carrier. It has to be Coyote Brown or multicam,
something like that. It and you when kind of going back towards plates, for the longest time I ran real plates, level 3 plates. And if you don't know what level 3 plates are, they are rated up to an AR-15 and an AK-47. Real plates, not fake. And my plate carrier was right around 60 to 70 pounds. And it was very heavy. It hurt my back. And I kept trying to figure out why, and that was why. So they do sell fake plates. You can get rubber or plastic. They are usually pretty cheap, so they're a lot cheaper than real plates.
And as far as plate carriers, we would like to tell you what we run here at Viper 6. We run your standard plate carrier that you can really find at any military
Condor
surplus, which is the Condor or Voodoo Tactical plate carriers. We're not recommending them, but we're just saying that that's what we run as a cohesive unit. Speaking of your camouflage, another big thing, especially when it comes more towards the winter months or the more colder times, is staying dry.
Yeah, especially whenever you start looking at the colder, like the winter months, people really don't realize it. Like, even whenever you're in the dead of winter, you can still sweat. You can still, and you will get drenched, and if it's cold enough, you can get hypothermia, and hypothermia is not fun when you're running around playing Airsoft. And it's also really good, speaking of things getting wet and being absolutely and utterly miserable, socks. Always pack socks. Pack more socks than what you think you'll ever need. I usually carry 4 pairs of socks on me when I play.
And the general code of conduct, really, for anything and everything airsoft luggage related, 1 is none, 2 is 1, 2 or 3. I'm sorry, 3 is 2. It's because of stuff like this. Even as far as airsoft guns, airsoft batteries, even CO2 cartridges for your pistols, clothing. You don't. Last thing you want to do is show up to an event that you traveled 6, 8, 14 plus hours to go to and figure out, hey, I forgot more than one battery, or I forgot, an extra pair of shoes or boots.
Yeah, good boots. Always get good boots. Never want to. I have about $60 pair of boots. It's not cheap, not expensive. It's right there in the middle, and they work for me. I could get better. I kind of want better, but I work with what I got. And boots aren't my knowledge. That's this guy. He has the worst experience.
Now, let me tell you, whenever you're looking at boots and you're a guy like myself who has big feet and not the smaller feet that everybody else apparently is fortunate enough to have, boots aren't $60. They are more towards 100, 120 for a decent pair. And for me, a guy who wears a size 15 boot, I have actually more adapted towards hiking shoes. I'm actually going to order a pair here in a couple weeks before we go to Appalachian Assault, because I was looking around at it, and I can order a pair of boots, steel-toed and the works and stuff like that, for about 120 on a plus shoe size website. Or I can just go, to Amazon and buy me a size 15 hiking shoe for $80 or $90.
Yeah.
Which is something I'm finding really helpful for me, and something that I was reading up on or really watching a couple weeks back is a lot of people don't even think to do this, but if you're going to bring extra shoes, definitely bring extra laces.
Yes.
Because there's nothing worse than bringing a thing of shoes and something go wrong with your laces, which while a lot of airsofters I've actually heard and actually looked and experienced with, a lot of them actually just use pair of 550.
Pair of 550 cord?
Yeah, for just their regular laces, and they're just like, yeah, this comes in multiple uses. So continuing on into the health hazards and staying dry, I'm going to let Bear right here talk about trench foot.
Yeah, so if you don't know what trench foot is, the reason, I'll tell you why it's called trench foot. World War I, they did not have the greatest boots in the world. The trenches were very wet. They were very, and didn't have a lot of boots, not a lot of pairs to go around. So you were inside the same pair of boots for 24 hours every day for months. And as soon as, not as soon as, sorry. Once you wear those wet boots and you are hiking in those boots and fighting in those boots, your feet will start to ache and gets very disgusting, very painful, not something you want to experience. So please, please, please either bring 2 pairs of shoes to bring, or always bring 2 pairs of shoes. I'll only carry 1 pair of boots, but inside my truck, or usually inside my pack, I'll carry a pair of house slippers for when I get back to either base or get back to the truck.
Going on to further things, for really any airsoft experience, you want to make sure you always have a dry gun.
Yeah.
Reason being is because airsoft guns are not real guns. They are made of electric components, if you get the half decent ones at least.
No.
Even with the spring ones, they can still rust, which is not a good thing. A lot of springs, if you let them rust over time, you try to cock it back, they'll just snap clean off like you just broke it. And you can't really replace the cheaper ones, which goes for any real cheap electric or spring in general. But a big thing for keeping your gun dry is after every single game or meal sim or whatever you're going at, you just went through a rain or even a snow, you want to make sure you get that gun fully dry.
Yeah, even if it didn't rain, after every game, clean it. All airsofters know, as soon as you buy a new gun, you get a cleaning rod, and usually, and I'm guilty of it too, just throw it away because you don't think you need it. But believe me, you do. Bad ammo, will do it. Dirt, water, anything will do it. Will gum up your barrel, and it will deplenish, well, not really deplenish, but it won't make your gun as accurate. And accurate gun is your best friend on an airsoft field. And so always bring the cleaning rod, piece of little, like some tissue at least, and you can just clean it with that. But if you can afford it and you can get some 100% silicone oil.
And going even deeper, you want to make sure those mags stay dry.
Yes.
Especially if you use the little mid caps. Breaking news: those are they are cheap. Most of them you can get them on Amazon, pack of 8 for $16.
Yeah.
But those are the worst at breaking during rain events. Reason being, that little spring that we just told you about in spring airsoft guns is exactly what loads a mid cap. Any real mid cap for any type of AR when it comes to or AEG, my bad, not AR, but an AEG inside an airsoft gun, and that spring can snap real easily, or even having problems unwinding, which is also when it comes to gun maintenance. You make sure after every event you take all the BBs out of your mags, mid caps especially. Those springs can only hold up a certain amount of tension. You let that tension go, that spring may be unrepairable. And let me tell you from experience, those mid-cap springs are not fun putting them back in.
And don't take them apart if you've never really done something like that before, if you really haven't worked on stuff like that before. And if you even want to get into stuff like that, go YouTube. How-tos.
YouTube is your favorite teacher in the airsoft
world. It is. It really is.
Also, something you want to make sure you know, or at least somebody on your team knows and have around you at all times, is the knowledge of first aid.
Me and him both are trained in first aid. I'm actually an EMT. So on me at all times, I carry a trauma pack. It's literally about that big and weighs 4 or 5 pounds. And it's not the most weight efficient, but I like to have it with me.
And going back to your plate carriers, most realistic, authentic plate carriers has little pouches for your first aid. Make sure you take advantage of that. I know where we shop, a store that sponsors us, they sell them.
Yes.
And I would like to say they're honestly not more than like $17.
Yeah.
First aid pouch you can pick up.
Like if you actually know what you're doing and you want to get the bigger pouches like I have, you can do that. But if you have just general knowledge, or if you just really want to carry one, just in case someone gets hurt and they don't have a med kit, you will have one. You can get what's called an IFAC. It's a individual personal first aid kit. It's about that big. Like it can't weigh more than a pound or something like that.
Something about that. Well, this wraps up episode 2 of Behind the BB, starring Tex and Bear. We would like to thank all of our viewers out there. Continue to comment, let us know what you're thinking. Give us a subscription. Hit that little bell up on the YouTube, and look us up on Facebook, Viper6. We would also ask you to please continuously to check our YouTube for continuous views and updates. We want to start updating weekly to gain more followers. And we would like to thank all of our sponsors. Theta Events. We would also like to thank Black Aces Airsoft and M2 Bravo.
Yep.
These guys have really helped us through everything.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
great.
They're absolutely amazing.
And go check out their stores. I know for a fact M2 Bravo has a full functioning store. Go to their Facebook, look it up, get some stuff from them.
So I'll check all of them out on Facebook. They're all there. They all of them host games. Black Aces hosts, Theta hosts, and so does M2 Bravo. All of them host amazing games, and that's usually what we generally go to.
Yeah, you'll see us there. We promise. We usually try to get a guy there every time.
At least one guy, at least 1 to 2 guys will go. At most, we'll have 6 to 7 people going.
But like I said, this is the end of episode 2, and we thank you for tuning in. Have a good day.